What up? What up? What up? I just gotta share this stuff real quick. What's going on, man? It's your boy at Big Game James 36, and this is Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group. We almost had a special guest on here today, Miles. But again, as I used to tell him all the time, he was like, "Man, I'm too busy. I don't have time. I don't have time." I was like, "Man, we dictate when we do a goddamn show. What you mean you don't have time?" Well, I told him like we do the show in the mornings now, bro. We don't we're not waiting till the middle of the afternoon to do no goddamn show because big game got to pick up little game from aftercare, from after school. So like it don't work as much as well as it used to. But I do. Miles, you working tomorrow? You think we can squeeze something in tomorrow? Yeah. We may have to do a special show because if anybody needs to be telling his story on an unfiltered platform, it would be a one Dennis Rashard Thompson. And because Jesus, 6 points in the news for good and bad right now. So like some of it we're gonna talk about. We will see one of 6 Points OG members this Saturday as Florida State plays the University of Florida. But I want to say this right now is if you don't have a ticket to the game, hit me up. I got some access that's not gonna get you how you say not gonna get screwed or messed over like I did. I've got some foolproof stuff. Somebody actually just kind of hooked it up for me. So I would not bless you, but you're gonna pay face value for what they paid for it. But if you don't have a ticket to the game, you need to have a ticket to the tailgate. And the tailgate is absolutely going to be a movie. Partnered with the Big Three Roll Up. My guy CJ Wilson, Uncle Silk, Larry on. They're going to be in Tallahassee. It's going to be a Florida State mashup. Please come check us out. It's $50 for the ticket. If you have a kid, it's $25. You can pay there, or you can give us some stuff like that. Tickets are going to be available online until Wednesday. After that, you're going to have to make sure you hit us up. It will be a ticketed event, so Lisa will not let your ass near the liquor, and my mama's going to slap you if you try to touch the food. If you come into our tailgate without proper bandage. So there will be bands that you have to get and whatnot. So we want to make sure nobody gets slapped for no reason. So make sure you check us out. Is it on Facebook? But yeah, anyways though, so we got that going on. There'll be a vendor fair. So if you Miles, if you have a business that wants to be able to be showcased in front of some of the best fans in the world from Florida State and Florida, check us out. We have all of that for you right there. It's $250 to have your vendor there. We'll advertise. Game Day Vodka sponsoring it. Sporadics is a part of it. Everybody just come. Bottom line is it's going to be a good festive party. If you got some food that you would like to eat at the tailgate, let me know. Because my boy, we gotta change the chef up. My boy Cheese is he had to back out on me at the last minute, man. So yeah, so we're gonna have good food though. We're gonna have a caterer. If you are a caterer in the Tallahassee area and you got that work, let me know because it's two things that are gonna happen when you partner with me. And it's worked out. I've told everybody this before. I told my boy Cheese this when we and him first linked up. If your food is good, everybody's gonna know. If your food is bad, everybody's gonna know. Same thing with my Taylor Lathan. Same thing with anybody who does stuff. We make sure that they know. Did Facebook change the algorithm again? Like, cause now I can't see. I know it's up there, but I can't see it. Happy birthday to Laurel Wilson. Laurel gets a happy birthday shout out because none of these tailgates would be possible if it wasn't for Laurel. She's the one who helped me with the first spring game tailgate. Happy birthday to E. Kelly. That makes sense. E. Kelly 21. All right, her birthday's on the 21st. I get it now. It all comes full circle. So happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to Danny Cannell. He's only 45. I really thought Danny Kanell was gonna be, like, older than that, man. Danny, you're aging like milk, bro. It's probably because of a lot of your takes. But, Noel legend, Seminole legend, there, just, a few quick subtle shout outs, before we go and tell you that this is brought to you by thehumidor.com, who will be present at the tailgate. Thehumidor.com, greatest humidor company in America. Not just for that, they give you your smokes, they give you your cigars, cutters, torches, all kinds of different things, for reasonable prices. My hair is just doing its own thing for reasonable prices. It's just something that you want to do. Again, we'll have cigars at the tailgate because of them, and ABC Fine Spirits will be providing the booze as well as game day vodka. So we want to make sure that everybody is properly announced and introduced. And we always bring you the show inside the world's greatest cigar lounge of Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. If we have the Gator Bowl, you guys will get very, 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 very excited for Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. We'll have all kinds of different shit, meet and greets, interviews, fashion, all kinds of fun stuff. And yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna party so hard if it's here in Jacksonville. I want to spend my Fourth of July, excuse me, my New Year's Eve somewhere else. But cigars, important. Victory. I predicted 8 wins. And Florida State got 8 wins. I said 8 to 10, but 8 wins was my number. I figured we get that. 8 wins was definitely manageable, definitely reasonable. Um, if you go look at the stuff in my the clips, you can see the stuff. But before we get into that, it was just a great overall weekend. Florida State won. They beat the Sisters of the Poor relatively easily. But this team was that the other team was fighting for positioning and fighting to get there to get to the bowl. Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't know what happened to you people, but bowl games aren't easy to get to, and they should be respected and celebrated a little bit. Um, but Louisiana Lafayette is fighting for a bowl game. I think the University of Florida has actually made it, so we can't pick on them. The University of Miami probably won't be going bowling. It's sad. I've felt this pain for the last 3 seasons. But I don't have to feel this pain anymore though. We we are good. We're playing for what I call per diem now. That means when you're playing for the better you play, the better the bowl game you get to go to. So that's what it is. Yeah, they didn't change the goddamn algorithm. Share this. I don't want to. I hate when it does this, man. But anyway, oh well. If y'all would, if you could go share this in Seminole, Lisa, I know you're listening. If you could go share this in some Seminole groups and whatnot, so that we can, talk about the game. But I'll say this: after a big time win, one of the last things you want to do sometimes is sit back with kids and sign autographs. But I'm going to brag on these young men first, for what they did. And the first young man I want to, well, I'm gonna say Trey Benson. Trey Benson is dope. Um, and he's on his way to doing some big things. He signed autographs for a lot of kids, but dang, I thought I had it out here, but I don't. You just pick up all of those. Those are all those things for the Florida State one. That's where we're at. Go up. But so this weekend, before I even get into those things, we got it was they honored the original four black players. Original four black players, you've seen it on here. It's Charlie Hunt, who lives here in Jacksonville. They're not post that. Charlie Hunt, who lives here in Jacksonville. I forgot Rob's last name. JT Thomas, who is a Steeler great, won 4 Super Bowls with the Steelers, and then Eddie McMillan, who got a chance to play with the with Seattle with Seattle, but when they first started. But this is me and Eddie Mack right here talking. Eddie's a dope guy. He's also into marijuana. We talked. He was that right there. I don't remember if he was showing me some young girls because he likes young women, or if he was showing me his marijuana crops. But he He's big into that. I wanted to honor this guy because if it wasn't for guys like him, um, guys like me wouldn't have had an opportunity to play at Florida State. Um, yeah, so it's big to give those people flowers. I gotta figure it out. I really want to do a documentary on those four men, and like they're just amazing. But we also got a chance to give away tickets. We gave away 250 tickets. If you go look at one of the other ones, Miles, 200. That's actually somebody who benefited from them. 250 tickets to this past game. 800 went to Boys Town of US, Boys Town, North Florida. Rob DeLoach, who yeah, you post that one. Rob DeLoach, whose son Kalen DeLoach plays for Florida State. He was able to get a group of his kids from the factory to be able to come through. We hooked up a basketball team, a couple Pop Warner teams. Uh, just just really just blessing people, man. I really like what Florida State was able to do. Appreciate y'all helping me out with this, and that's me right there divvying up the product, chopping it up, making sure it got to who needed to get to. One thing I will say I was disappointed in this game was the lack of fans, and I get it. It was cold, it was noon, but guys, just like I'm gonna try to meet with Florida State after the season, and we're gonna end that. Like, there's no need. There's enough people who want to come to these games that will fill those stands. So I'm not saying I can't get 78 or whatever the number is we have now, but I'm pretty sure I can get another. I can get about 2,000, 3,000 in there and have some organizations on standby. This was a group of young men. And the cool thing about this, what Rob did, these are some good looking prospects right here, man. These guys were in 7th, 8th grade, and they came out and they got a chance to check it out. He's 5'10", 170-pound DB wide receiver. Looks the part. Hopefully he'll be good, and hopefully we made a Seminole. And that's what my whole purpose. And you see him right now. He's standing taller than Kalen. That's Kalen in the middle of them right there. Good group of guys. Very grateful and thankful. That's OG Deloach right there with a little bit of gray. That's Kalen's father. Great man. Man that I want to emulate. So enough talk about. Oh, and then also tis the season. I'm gonna give my kid, if you pull up the Christmas tree, I'm gonna give my kid a shout out. Because that's what we do here. It's Christmas time. In my household, we really believe in Christmas and Christmas trees. So we went on ahead and copped our Christmas tree for the year. Shout out to my boy Josh, our starting center with the Mandarin Mustangs, giving above and beyond effort. If you're in Jacksonville, go off of San Jose Boulevard. That's the tree farm. Go ask for Josh. Just tell him, hey, I want +2 effort. You got to make sure you mention the +2. He'll know that somebody must have sent you. So, tis the season of to be jolly and give ass whipping. So back to Florida State. Florida State won by a lot, and I'm not going to get into all the true details and stuff, but it's just we beat the hell out of Sebastian. To quote my guy, that'll be that we're gonna come up to that later if we have time. We beat the hell out of Sebastian. It was a great game if you're a fan of Florida State. If you're a fan of Louisiana Lafayette, I'm sorry. It wasn't very, very fun for you. Except for it even sucked being in the state of Florida because it was cold as hell at that game. You didn't get any of the benefits of being in Florida. Florida State literally dominated this game from start to finish. Louisiana Lafayette won the fourth quarter. They scored 14 points. That wasn't really it didn't even matter. I actually told Chris in the game that this was going to happen because I just know how tough it is to keep teams out of the end zone, even in blowouts. Like what Florida State did with the having 2 teams consecutive weeks score 3 points is just too hard. That doesn't happen. But this was one of those stat games where everybody got a chance to play, and that's what you got to love about it. Florida State defense still held the opponent under 300 yards, which is still relatively good. Again, like I said, the stuff in the last part of the game kind of was BS. But Jordan Travis didn't have a stellar night. Didn't need to. Didn't play a lot. 9 for 14, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. He also had 5 carries, 38 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trayshawn Ward, 4 carries, 37 yards, 2 touchdowns. Trey Benson still carrying the load, 16 carries, 80 yards, 1 touchdown. Just a lot of A lot of dominance and things that just didn't need to be done. Hell, Brendan Gant led the team in tackles, and he's a backup guy. DJ Lundy showed some promise, 1.5 sacks on the game. Josh Farmer got some sacks. Just a lot of people got reps that haven't been getting reps this year. At one point, Florida State had 175 yards rushing to Louisiana Lafayette 7. I think this was like in the first quarter too. So called off the dogs. Really, really good. What I always love to say is you got to be able to have a consistent ass whippings going on. And I love a good, solid, consistent ass whipping. So that's where we needed to be at. That's what Florida State needed to show. I'm good with this. Hold on, my bad. Just got some stuff. Oh, man, I but that's basically the gist of Florida State breakdown. We'll get into some Florida breakdowns. Check me out on Sporadics by Sideline Sports Network, part of the World Sports Broadcast Network. I think it's WSBA. I'm gonna get it right once we get on board. Once I get on board more, I'm trying to get it right, Chris. Don't kill me. But we'll be on at 6 tonight because me and Chris will be on Roll Up Network at 7:15 tonight talking about the podcast here. Make sure I'm all set up tonight so I don't look like a geriatric out here with the stuff. But yeah, so that's that. We'll talk more about everything going on. But really, Florida State kicked ass for the second consecutive week. Hopefully, we'll be able to do the same thing this Friday. Hopefully, you'll be nice and unsober because we have you drunk from the tailgate of all tailgates. So, what I want to go into, and we'll get to the Jags here after this one, but the Gators. So, Gators did something that I expected this game to be Florida State 8-3 and Florida 7-2. Never in my wildest dreams did I expect Florida to come in at 6-5. And you're going to put up the next one. I don't think, and the problem with trolling, the Florida fans do better than anybody else, or try to do better than anybody else, because they have short-term memory. The problem with trolling is that when you post things in the beginning, you can't retract and backtrack. So this is Cameron Magruder, Scooter Magruder, who's Twitter famous and social media influencer, came up with things that this fan base says and stuff like that. He put, this was the beginning of game day. We are not Kentucky. Well, you're not because you lost to Kentucky earlier this year. And Kentucky, the reason why he said this is Kentucky lost to Vanderbilt the prior week in a shock. Nobody believed that Kentucky was supposed to be considered one of the teams that could beat the SEC East. So this is why they posted this. We are not Kentucky. And what we found out is you got similarities though. It's the same color blue. That blue hue is a little close because you got your ass whooped by Vanderbilt as well in a game that truly was not even close. Um, and it's a lot of reasons why you lost to them. We're gonna go into this stuff, but Billy Napier, I'm just talking about how this is part of the process. They have better. Never in my life would I ever believe to hear a University of Florida coach fix his lips and say Vanderbilt has better athletes than them. But that's what he said. Now they do have speed. Vanderbilt does have a unique recruiting model where they just do that. But Vanderbilt hasn't lost to, or it hasn't beat Florida at home. I believe it was since like '88. My sister wasn't even born yet, or something crazy like that. It's amazing the coach speak that comes out. And the fans that defend things like, "Oh, well, you gotta back," it doesn't mean that you're not backing it when you bring up the fact that Florida should never lose to Vanderbilt. Here's the wild part. It was never close until the end. Vanderbilt at one point was up. I believe, let me make sure I look at this correctly. So they had 14, the field goal. So this for one touch. So it was It was 14-12 at one point. Then Vanderbilt went up, and it went up 28 to 12. Then Florida scored a touchdown, Vanderbilt kicked a field goal, it's 31 to 18. Florida never comfortably had any kind of decisive impact. Now, what was crazy about this, and what I want to talk with Denny about, is that Anthony Richardson actually had a good day at quarterback. He was 25 for 42, 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The problem is when Florida wins games, they're running. ETN is running, Johnson Jr. is running, Richardson is running well. Florida was held to 45 yards total rushing. So while they ate at wide receiver on the Sisters of the Poor, they did not do a very good job in the secondary. Now, if we look at, I'm gonna give them credit at 619_chomp2. The running backs were eating this year because AR was always a running threat. Vandy took away the inside run and challenged Anthony Richardson to keep it. When they realized he was refusing to run, they knew they had the game won. When you limit yourself in football, you give your opponent the advantage. Couple that with the distraction of teammates leaving in this week, inaccurate throws, penalties, missed tackling, coverage assignments on defense, and you get a loss even to Vanderbilt. And there's nothing flawed in that statement. That was very reasonable, very sound. That was talked about and said in that. Make sure. All kinds of weather. I love this because Florida fans hate Dan Mullen the way that Florida State fans hate Jimbo Fisher, who, by the way, I might as well say about that. Taylor Jacobs was at the Florida State game, and so was not Trey Fisher, Ethan Fisher. And somebody posted a picture earlier today of Taylor Jacobs with Candy and the two boys. Almost in poor taste, but at the same time, very, 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 very funny. Kudos to you on the troll. I can't even hate on you, but if you could play the video, not necessarily like Dan Mullen, I love the petty. I appreciate the petty, Daniel.
Arkansas offense is half inch away with Ole Miss already over 300 yards in the first half.
28-6. Coach Vanderbilt beat Florida.
Yeah, first time winning in Nashville since 1988 for Vandy against Florida.
Huh.
So if you listen to him, Dan Mullen was asked. He said, the announcer said Florida lost to Vanderbilt, and Dan Mullen's like, huh? Or it was more of a sarcastic, like, yeah, is that right? It was what he wanted to say is, you miss me now, bitch. You got G5 Willie over there, and you over here losing. You have just for the record. I don't really know. Florida State's not as good as Miami and Florida with this new shit, like new coaches thing, because y'all have done it so many times. But Billy Napier is in a historic season. Historically, things have not happened that have excuse me. Historically, things have been happening that have not happened in quite some time. You have not lost to Kentucky in quite some time, where you lost to them. Tennessee, Vanderbilt. Like, it's a historic season. And what's wild and crazy is this. It all comes down to this. I'll give you my big games analysis on the Florida State-Florida match. If Anthony Richardson throws for 25 or 42 for 400 yards, it doesn't have over 75 yards rushing, you're going to get your ass whooped. It's going to look like you're going to score 21 points, but Florida State's going to score 2. You're going to get beat unmercifully if Anthony Richardson plays quarterback. Now, if Anthony does this shit that we all know Anthony has the capability of doing, and like says, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to use my goddamn legs. I'm going to be a colored quarterback. Fuck what the ops say. I don't know if we got anything for that, bro. Like, y'all gonna score points, man. It's gonna be very difficult to beat that because you have to respect him and as well as the other runners. Like, I don't know if it was Billy Napier being arrogant, believing that we could beat Florida. I mean, we could beat Vanderbilt with what we have, but instead, Billy Napier beat Florida by overthinking and being arrogant and confident. So but yeah, don't worry. You know who I'm about to get on next. Your time is coming, bitch. Just give me a second. I gotta talk Jaguars right here. Just for a quick second, this is like a commercial on me. How the fuck do you lose on your day off? It's the other one, Miles. It's the next one. It's so Jacksonville Jaguarish that it feels natural. And if you click on the first link, Miles, that I posted, um, it's um, yeah, you post that because I've got questions, serious questions. Like, so the Jacksonville Jaguars should not have been in the news at all. But here's why the Jacksonville Jaguars are in the news, and for people who are going to go spend some holiday time with your family when they play the Raiders this week. Not Raiders, no. We play the Ravens. Calais Campbell coming back. I'd eat at the tailgate or before you go there. I got news for you. Most concession fan food, actually even food at restaurants, you don't know the quality. Like that's why I love Waffle House. Waffle House is basically hibachi breakfast. And people talk about how dirty they are, but at least we see the kitchen. The kitchens in most places are dirty and nasty. But I don't know about this nasty. Jaguar CIAA Bank Field cited for 129 violations after dead rodents were found in the concession. 20 concession stands were inspected. What is that? So 20. What's 20 divided by 129? So do the math. Too much. That means that's an average of 6.5 concessions violations per concession stand. I don't even know if there's 20. Delaware North runs it. They follow the highest standards of food service. A team of health inspectors spent the day of November 6th. Oh God, more things happening. Inspecting the food service location during a live event with 62,000 fans, which is a lie. I know for goddamn well 62,000 fans weren't in the Jack Stadium, but we're gonna just overlook that. Our managers work closely, and most of the violations identified were rectified immediately. We're working to resolve the clerical error that led to the lapse of licenses for 2 of the stands. The other locations, blah blah blah. Basically, the health and safety of our patrons is our top priority. Says the management, blah blah blah. The point is, that's some nasty ass food that they're serving there, and nothing's nastier than, but it's probably healthier than the fried food at concession stands of a game. The heat probably kills everything. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. When I worked concessions at Florida State last year with my nonprofit, and the reports that were given to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not eating a goddamn French fry or a chicken finger from them goddamn concession stands at Florida State. I'm just gonna put that out there, let you guys know that's free game by big game. If I were you, I would not do this. Guy who I love, Demetrius Harvey, awesome man, full time with coverage of the Jacksonville Jaguars with the Times Union now, and he posted that even the Jaguars right now are not competing as well as they do for being the worst at this point in the season. But I told him, do not lose faith. Do not lose faith. Right now, the Jaguars would be would pick ninth, would be a top 10. We'll have the top 10 pick for like I don't know, the 14th year out of 15 years that I've been in Jacksonville. Right now, Houston is doing well. They're running away with this lead, 1-8-1. Carolina, who doesn't have a coach, has 3 wins. Chicago, who has Justin Fields, who everybody said was so much worse than Trevor Lawrence, has 3 wins. Las Vegas, 3 wins, who beat the Jags. Denver, who has Sierra's husband, who just fucks me every week in fantasy football. Fuck you, Russell Wilson, by the way. And everything you stand for, you bitch. I hate you. The LA Rams with Jalen and them, I think they're tanking. But that pick goes to Detroit anyway. Cleveland, 3-7. That pick goes to Houston anyway. So Houston right now has 2 top 10 picks. Pittsburgh, who I think is I don't know what Pittsburgh's got going on, and the Jaguars. Demetrius says teams with 3 or fewer wins have finished playing this week, and the Jaguars currently hold 9 overall pick to the 2023 draft. It's too far early to say if Jacksonville will secure yet another top 10 pick, but they're getting there with 7 games left. There are 7 games left in the season. And I told Demetrius this. These other teams don't have the experience we have at being competitively poor. We will see this through and draft another can't miss unproven project that'll be good on another team's roster with coaches who know how to use them. You got to keep the faith. You got to keep the faith that the Jaguars are going to pick in the top 10. There ain't nothing more consistent than the Jaguars picking in the top 10. That's a lot. There is one thing that's more consistent. The Canes being back. The Canes have been back every year since 2002. They won the national championship in 01 and haven't been they got close again in 02. Haven't smelled it. Ever since they moved to the ACC, moved to a real conference, they called all Canes conference, they've been terrible. I'm not going to spend all day bashing them, but I am going to remind you that at Caneville 305 said that the only difference between Clemson and Miami were subtle. Yes, and points. Miami lost 40-10. Now, the cool thing is Miami did something that they have not done in quite some time against Clemson. Score a touchdown. But Caneville 305, Miles, is the second link under the camp. He posted this right here. And if this isn't the false advertising, if this isn't just terrible, I guess they had a watch party. And everybody left sober. Game day eve. Pull up on us tomorrow to watch the game. We vibe. Free shots for every Miami touchdown. Miami scored 1 touchdown. So everybody got 1 taste of liquor. It would have been a better environment if you would have said free shots for every touchdown scored on Miami. But then again, you would lose tons of money. You made this cheap ass graphic fully knowing that you weren't going to have to give up much liquor. That's terrible. I wanted people to realize that something happened here. Mario Cristobal went in the news and said, parents, if you don't like what's going on with your kids here or the coaching, you can always come and pick your kids up. Miami. So I just told you guys what the University of Louisiana Lafayette finished with. They finished with just under 300 yards. It's very difficult to hold a team under 300 yards. You want to know what's more difficult than that? Holding a team under 100 yards. Miami finished with under 100 yards of total offense today. The first time it's happened for Canes football since my mother was 5 years old. 1965. You guys praise Telemundo Taggart every time you get a chance. You say we're moving in the right direction. And again, much as Billy Napier's stint right now at the University of Florida is, Mario Cristobal's stint is historic. Shit is happening to you guys that has never happened. I believe you beat your first Power 5 team the other day, and that's something to be bragged about. It was Georgia Tech, who doesn't have a coach, but at the same time, kudos to y'all. There's a real good caption. I got to get the full breakdown. I want you guys to savor this, if you will, because if this is the direction, because there's a lot of people threatening to leave, and I'm for it. This is what Miami did. This is the breakdown because it's not trolling if it's fact. First downs. Now remember the stat now, Miles. The guy said we're close to Clemson in every situation, and we're in almost every statistical category. Clemson had 26. Miami had 5. Third down conversions. Miami had 3. Rushing yards. Clemson had 207. Miami had 30. Now here's where it gets crazy because they were praising Curry Browns how he's going to be that next guy. Clemson had 240 yards passing. Miami had 68 yards passing. Yeah. And here's where it really matters. Clemson had the ball 40 minutes and 53 football game seconds. Miami had 18 minutes and 30 had the ball 18 minutes and 31 seconds. You're historically ass. Uh, Lion ass Cuban Ruiz, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more money, brother. It's a lot of fix. You're gonna have to get in that transfer portal. You're gonna have to overpay. It's gonna be a lot of shit that's gonna happen. Like you've got the former or the reigning because it hasn't been given yet. Assistant coach of the year as your offensive coordinator. And he couldn't muster up more than 100 yards. In theory, that's pretty good yards. You had 10 yards per, what was it? 10 touchdowns. 10 yards per point? I guess that's good. I don't really know. I don't even know if that's a statistic. I'm trying to help. Don't think I am. Kevin Steele has been great everywhere he's been at. You guys had the second best talent in the ACC. Now all of a sudden it's the players. You said it was Manuel last year. What's crazy is, did you hear what Urban Meyer said about Manny Diaz? Urban Meyer said Manny Diaz is great because he designs his defense around the players that he has. That's what good coaches and good coordinators do. I can promise you that Manny Diaz would not be on pace to be 5-7. I can promise you that you'd be at least in the bowl game. And I can promise you that your recruiting will probably be the exact same place that it is right now with Manny Diaz. The problem is what's going to happen with Mario Cristobal is the same thing that happened with Manny Diaz. Y'all create this false fucking narrative about what you have, who you are, and how badass you are. Because we told y'all that little Manny was not a goon. Y'all tried to make little Manny a goon. Little Manny was little Manny. And y'all trying to do this with this other lying ass kid. He's not a goon. He's just big ass Manny. He's just big ass Manny Cristobal. He just ate more tostones than and empanadas and was it coqueche? What's the hard rice? The fried he eats. You can tell Manny's daddy wasn't there in Miami, so a little more privileged. We're in cocaine era, so I know he wasn't eating the crunchy rice. Mario, I know Mario was eating some of that. Mario, come on now, this is me. I know you was eating some of that crunchy rice. You took some of that goddamn gravy from the beef. You just put it on that crunchy rice, made that shit a delicacy, bro. This is me. Hell, I'm basically Spanish now, so like, fuck all y'all, man. Y'all know this shit gives me hope. I can't wait for y'all to lose next week, and I can't wait for the spin job. 98 yards and 6 first downs in a 60-minute football game. This is what guys said. Man, Miami Mondo. Dabo refuses to take a knee. Do not forget that, Mario. Bitch, you can don't get it right down. Take a fucking picture. Screenshot. You ain't beating. Beat the shit out of Miami has gotten their ass whooped by Clemson under 3 different regimes. You have scored, I believe, a grand total of 13 points in your last 3 games against them. Do you really fucking think Davos would think that I'm gonna start this off by saying this. Miami, am I Miami? The university, excuse me, I'm saying that wrong. Florida Agricultural. Damn, James. Florida Agricultural should in the FCS playoffs. That's how I'm going to start this. I agree with you. And before we get into all of that, I'm going to let you know they didn't make it. The city of Tallahassee was firmly preparing and entrenched because last week news got out that FAMU had the potential to get an at-large game, and they would have hosted a playoff game. And this was a big win and would have been a big win and a big deal for FAMU. I should have put that one aside either. So if you got the Willie Simmons video, Miles, let's play that one first. Because I want people to understand that this coach was upset. And he has some merit and right to be upset about not being in the playoff. And I'm going to be as fair and balanced as I could possibly be on all of this. And I haven't heard this too, Miles, so you got to unplug the thing. So you got to mute our YouTube? Okay. So let's hear what Coach Simmons has to say about what's going on with the situation and his disappointment.
Rattler Nation's head football coach Willie Simmons here. Obviously, a very disappointing day for our program after getting word that we didn't get invited to the FCS playoffs. My heart just goes out to these young men. They've fought for this program. They've done more than we've ever asked, and they did what they needed to do on the football field to show that they were deserving of an opportunity to play for a national championship. But this is a resilient group of guys. Again, I hate it for the seniors. But what better way to send those guys off than a resounding win in the Florida Classic? I'm proud of them. Words don't do justice to what I feel about this program and about these young men. And my heart just continues to go out to them. And but they're going to be successful in life because of what we've endured this year. So, Rattler Nation, thank you for your support. We'll need it moving forward. This is the last time we want to see our young men be shortchanged, and we want to control our own destiny. So, thank you guys. We love you all. As always, go Rattlers.
And FAMU, I get it. They went 9. They finished the season 9-2. Went on a streak of 9 wins. Finished top 25. The way they got in last year was they finished. I believe if you're top 15, you're kind of more so like guaranteed, or like if you finish a certain place, you have a better chance of making it at large or something like that. That's why they made it last year. And when you look at the pros, who FAMU lost to, they lost to the University of North Carolina with a potential Heisman Trophy candidate in FBS, and they played them probably closer than the team, the few losses that they had. They played them better than the other orange and green team that played them, the University of Miami. They lost to Jackson State, currently number 5 ranked in all FCS. It's tough when you look at it just like that. Now, what I will say is this: the Florida States of the world, not as well because we haven't been winning, but like most universities have an understanding of where they're at, and they set up things so that they can get an opportunity to be where the destination is that they want. What does that mean, James? What that means is when Alabama knows that they play in the SEC, the SEC is highly regarded as the best conference in football. So they know that, hey, if we win our conference, we're good. But they're going to play one game that's good enough to be able to get them into the college football playoff when it's all said and done. Matter of fact, before I get into this is brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Hate o'clock, because this is going to be my hate o'clock. It's the overall situation. It's the FAMU situation and the situation of them not being in here. Black Friday specials, you need to go out there. You need to go check it out. Get that outdoor enthusiast what they need. Pump shotgun, mechanics, all kinds of specials there at Green Acre Sporting Goods. Go there, tell them that Big Game sent you. That's how we get our props there. Love those guys. Z and them will take good care of you. Actually, I forgot I got to go try to go get some explosives because I may be hog hunting tomorrow. Not 1,000% sure yet. FAMU didn't just lose to the number 5 overall team in FCS that happened to win their conference. You got absolutely fucking annihilated by them. You lost to the closest thing you have. You lost 59-3. Now, that coach did go and try to make a statement for you and Deion Sanders, and he said, "How is FAMU not in the FCS playoffs? Please make me understand a team that only lost to a Power 5 and the 5th-ranked FCS team get in. Somebody help me. This is why you beat them by 56 fucking points, Deion." And contrary to popular belief, the SWAC is better than the MEAC. But as a whole, here's who FAMU played after that. They played Albany State, a D2 team that they only beat 23-13. They played Alabama A&M, who Deion, you beat handily, 38-35. They played South Carolina State, good team, with 20-14. They played Grambling, who's only won one game, if I remember correctly. Let me make sure I check it out. They've won one game at that point. They only beat them 20-16, excuse me. They played Alabama State. Let's see what Alabama State's record was. 6-4. They beat them 21-14 on a last-second blocked field goal return for a touchdown. They beat Bethune-Cookman, who won 2 games to that point, 41-21. And it wasn't like if you would have just destroyed your competition and your opponents, that's how you get in. That's how JU got in a few years ago with Kerwin Bell. The SWAC is not good. And you barely won. And I'm not knocking because the W's, but we saw what happened last year when you went in. You got destroyed. And what happens is the more that we try to use the Celebration Bowl thing as a cop-out, you want to know how you get FAMU in, Deion? You take the penalty for not going to the Celebration Bowl, and you go into the goddamn playoff. If you go out there and you beat the shit out of one of these things, that's how you bring HBCU ball outside of that. But here's my other point. Black people got to stop doing it. We created a Celebration Bowl so that we can have an opportunity in a moment where everybody reflects on how good black college football is. I want to create another bowl game, and I'm more than willing to do that. But let's create another one to where the focus is on that. Or say we want to actually be integrated. Because if you want to be integrated, here are the rules. The problem with integration is you step outside of that and you no longer control the rules. It's something that every one of us have known in our entire life. My mother beat it in my fucking skull. Beat so good they can't deny you. Beat the fuck out of all the other opponents in the same manner in which Deion beat the fuck out of you. You know why Deion didn't really beat the fuck out of anybody else? Because it didn't matter. FAMU was the only team on that schedule that had any kind of credence. But when he got an opportunity, he didn't let up. He beat the fuck out of you. The problem with FAMU right now is you've been in the news less for your sports and less for the positive attributes and more for the bullshit. You still got many players that are still suspended I know more about the suspensions, and those players still ain't get in the beginning of the year. For you taking guys that transferred in that weren't eligible. And don't make me have to go out and air it out. I'm not bringing up that point to air it out. I'm bringing up that point to say, if you focused on your craft, you wouldn't be in a situation where you have to be making tweets and putting out there and crying. That's what it looks like when we do this. It looks like we're crying for attention and we're saying that it's racist when, yes, Maybe it is, but this situation ain't. Go and look at your schedule. It happens every year on the FBS level. Every year on the FBS level. People don't get in because they go and they look at the schedule. You want to know how you get in? Stop taking these ass whooping games from North Carolina State and the Mayans that you never put back into the program and go play a Youngstown State. Go play another FCS team and beat their ass and show what the brand of college football is in the South. Promote yourself. Start creating more things. I've spoken for the last decade about why do HBCUs even give a fuck what the NCAA states, because this is something that black people have done from Kanye West, who is now all of a sudden pro-black, to across the board. You need validation from others, but you preach independence and you preach pride. But at the same time, you want validation from everyone else. When it ain't coming easily. You preach validation from others, but you don't want to be held to the same standard that those others are held to. Miss me with the fact that it's hold on, where was it? Oh, because the four teams that got left out also have name brand recognition when it comes to this game. If you actually study football. And I'm not saying this out of hurt. Like Austin P has a 1,000-yard receiver that they have actively marketed. Did you know FAMU has a big time wide receiver that very few people know about? That's not on anybody else. The FAMU alumni. You know what we knew about? Fucking dunks. We knew about dunks, but we don't know about the people that are at FAMU. You in University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, University of Rhode Island, who has a national championship under their belt in the last 20 years. We know about these schools because they don't just play the Chitlin circuit. See what happens when you know what people know about FAMU when you play those big money games that get put on TV. They know about the ass whooping that you took, so they don't know about what you look like in comparison to others. And the other time that you got a chance last year to play a team that was on your level, you lost. And you didn't lose close. You lost big time. Actually, we can keep that one right there. Don't even got to change it, Miles. I want to talk about this young lady. And you lost again off the field. You spent all that time talking about that buddy ass, that big booty, naked ass girl taking a picture in front of the goddamn Rattler thing. That's where you put your energy at in marketing. You don't market the positive as much as you market the shit that's a stain on your goddamn record. You denied her the fucking degree that she earned, and now everybody knows. That's what we know you as. We know you as a university that tries to put athletes who ain't got fucking good grades on a pedestal, and you knock the girls who out here who we all like big booty, naked ass black women. You don't want to give her a degree for that. Like you ain't got girls stripping on a pole right now with a goddamn FAMU degree. We know how to change it two ways. Figure out how to play ball, or stop trying to look for fulfillment from other people. Take your ass around the world and go play some other Division One, the FCS teams, and beat the fuck out of them in their conferences, and go like that. And that's why I brought it up, Till Dog. She won, and we all told you were going to lose the case because it doesn't make any sense. There was no sign, there was no nothing, nobody was around. She won the case, so you lost in court, you lost in the football field, and you lost in all these other different things. You don't take care of your athletes in NIL deals. You don't set your schedule up to be able to make your athletes successful to where you can go around and market the brand. You only put your kids in situations where they make national TV when they're getting their ass whooped or they're showing their asses, i.e., the girl. If you had the same pride that you post and boast about on social media actually in the institution, you would not be in this situation. Why it makes me upset sometimes about Dion. We needed Dion to bring. We needed, you know what? You always tell black people who went to PWIs to mind their business. But Deion Sanders is bringing the attention to HBCU, a man who went to a PWI. But you know why it makes guys like me who grew up on an HBCU campus mad? It's because you have such pageantry. You have such people that are out. I saw the tweets that the classic never gets old for people who went there. You know what? Yes, we'll give it to you. But if you actually had the pride in your university, you wouldn't need Dion to bring awareness to it. And here's what's going to happen. Here's what's going to happen. You're about to lose your top talent, your two most talented coaches in HBCU, and they're setting you up for this shit. Willie Simmons, who every year is approached by, and almost left you twice, is approached by PWI institutions to go and be a coach there. Deion's taking the first job out. And I'm not knocking him for out of it. It's career progression. Do what you got to do. But here's what happens. Here's what happens. You can't you don't put your athletes in the best position. You haven't built systems and infrastructure to be able to consistently keep guys there. And then your top talent always leaves you, not just on the football field. Your top talent in teaching, admin, and on the field. You have the strongest alumni base from a marketing perspective and a fiscal perspective. Yet, the biggest deal that any of your players had from an NIL perspective came from a guy who never played it down there and never went to the university. That is a problem. It's not just that you missed the FCS playoffs, it's that you didn't prepare, promote, or produce enough to be able to be in the damn playoff. And what you did was you lost that opportunity, and now you're pouting about it. Go out there and do what all our black ass mamas and daddies have taught us to do since the beginning of time. Be so good that you can't deny it. They can't deny it. And my man George is right. Other universities can do this. They do need to do a better job of that. Florida State does need to do a better job of that. Florida State ain't crying about Jordan Travis not being in Heisman contention, and we do have guys get drafted in the first round. It does need to be bigger. But here's the case where FAMU wants something, it did not, and there is a clear path to get it, but they did not even try to go about getting it. Now, that's my headed clock. Having to wrap things up, and I want to bring this all into close. It's called the Caucasian. And I want to bring up the one part, but I can't because there's so much into that. The Tennessee representative that bashes this black college at Tennessee State about them getting a boost in academic and people trying to enroll because they're actually good. And I say the caucasity in this statement because, and I don't really even mean this in a negative way. I'm a preface this. I don't think the kid actually did anything wrong, and I'm going to try to get Denny Thompson on where we can have a good dialogue about this. And this is why shows like the Sports Den need to be on terrestrial radio because we can actually have a good dialogue between black and white and understanding the kid. If you look at Marcus Stokes as but Marcus Stokes is a talented quarterback from the Jacksonville area. I was approached with this a few weeks ago about how to handle this. There is no really good way to handle this. I don't care what you feel. I believe you can say any word that you want to say in the English language. You can say whatever you want to say as long as you're willing to deal with the consequences. It's why I actually admire Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving said what he said, and he dealt with the consequences. He apologized for it, but he understands that just because an apology happens doesn't mean it goes. I also think that Jewish people went over the top, but I actually like the new frame of reference with it. There is a way that you can have penance and show that you're this. Now, what Marcus Stokes did was he, and I don't want to play the video because I don't want to go viral. 'Cause I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of this shit you keep getting clicks on weeks afterwards, and you don't even remember what you said. Like, y'all keep clicking that goddamn Kanye video that we did about a month ago, and the shit's old. It fucked up my IG stuff, but whatever. Marcus put on social media, immediately deleted it, but not after somebody got it. And he put, "Welcome back, nigga." It was the start of a rap song. That was it. Not even gonna lie to you, dog. The way nigga normally is used, it's not like that. I don't mind it, and I'm gonna tell you why. But anyways, Marcus says, "I was in my car listening to rap music, rapping along the words, and posted a video of it on social media. I deeply apologize for the words in the song that I chose to say. It was hurtful and offensive to many. I regret that. I fully accept the consequences for my actions, and I respect the University of Florida's decision to withdraw my scholarship to play football. My intention was never to hurt anybody, and I recognize that even when going along with the song, my words still carry a lot of weight. I will strive to be better and to become the best version of myself, both on and off the field. I know that learning from my mistakes is important first. Here's a crazy thought, right? Crazy. Um, saying saying the N word isn't what makes somebody racist. It has power, it has meaning, but I think a lot of people forget that black people understand context. I don't think you should say it at all. I call it housework for a reason. Still to this day, even though we've had this word be used so much in 2022, I have used it less than Joe Rogan. And I only use it in situations talking about white people using it. I had white kids at LSU's tailgate, in the LSU tailgate, who who sang dreams and nightmares from Meek Mill from the bottom of their soul and knew how to edit the N. White people, we know you use the N word when you're using rap songs. It's how it's used. It's and I'm gonna tell you why I believe Marcus isn't Marcus plays on a team that has a lot of black people on it. And I had a great discussion with a friend of mine, Rick Cotton. And this was the engagement. He's like, wow, I find this incident mind-boggling. I often see players and other lock go live after a game. They're playing rap music. They use the N word. It looks like they're mouthing the N word. Numerous players of different races rapping and dancing. How do coaches see this? And this is why I always say, like, coaches, people say, like, you shouldn't play this music. And just, if they can say the N word, then I should not. It's not quite like that. The locker room is a different world. Matter of fact, I'll say this. If the world were like the locker room, the world would be a better place. See, what happens in the locker room is you have earned everything in that situation. I have worked hard with you. I have battled with you. I have built a rapport and a relationship with you. I know that you've got my back. Same thing with kind of in the military, and you kind of see it when you're at war. But what happens is when you leave this unique bubble, you have to realize that everybody else doesn't see you in that. And this is what I told Rick. The locker room is an interesting place. It has rules and it has things that the world does not have to adhere to, nor will they ever understand. That video is not new, but his teammates knew about it. That means the guys he played with at Nice knew about it. And they didn't whoop his ass. So that tells me that he isn't racist inherently. He used the word in context, but the locker room is not universal. That means every locker room has their own things. What you could get away with in one locker room, you can't necessarily get away with in another one. I think he should be punished, but not to this extent. And I actually think this is how you make people racist. Like he's actually literally lost everything. Like this is going to be his villain backstory. It could be. I think he's a good kid. I'm even willing to have the kid come on my show and let's talk about it. Which I have always said, the one thing I will never be is the black person that will make it all right. But I've actually seen the video. I saw the video before everybody else saw it, and I was not immediately appalled. I think it's a teachable moment. I think it's a kid who fucking loves rap music. He's a SoundCloud rapper, guys. He doesn't use the N-word in any of his rap songs. So that's how I know he understands. I also don't subscribe to the thing where we can't expect other people not use it until we stop using it. And it's all violent and blah, 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 blah. Nah, nigga, nah. I know what I'm doing when I use certain words that other people don't like. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like the word bitch. It is my favorite word, like Too Short. I use it in certain contexts, but if I say it to a woman, you're acting like a bitch. I know 100% what the fuck I just said. I did not mean that as a cute, tickly word. I meant that as a bomb word. And if a woman comes to me and says, James, I would like you to not use that in my presence, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna use it in their presence because there's a million other different words that I can use. But I also understand the consequences that may come with that. Because of my language, because of what I say, may make other people not want to listen or engage to my show. And I am fully cool with that. Just might not be for you. I have a nonprofit that started off with, man, fuck them kids. You don't think that turned away a lot of people? But what I will never participate in is respectability politics. Matter of fact, I'll pull that on video up that you just showed with Barstool Sports. I won't, because I can tell you right now, rap music does not make you more inherently violent than any other thing that's happened in this world. I don't believe that seeing two dads on a fucking cartoon makes the kid want to go suck a goddamn dick. I don't believe any of this shit, because I believe what happens is humans are humans. Play that video right there, Miles, for me, please. I don't need the sound. I can tell you for a fact that Dreams and Nightmares and Young Jeezy was not played during this incident right here.
What's going on? Yo,
What do we have?
what
here?
is going on?
Right
Oh,
here.
get
Right
out of
here.
here. Get out of
It's
here.
as if
What
every
is going
race
on?
has the ability
What is
to be
going on?
doctrine, has the
What is
ability to be
going
violent,
on?
has the ability to be ape shit.
Get his ass. Get his ass. Get his ass.
It's what happens.
Get his ass.
It's not because of rap
chill,
music.
chill,
It's
chill, chill.
not because of
Aye.
saying the N-word. It's not. It's just an inherently different thing. And what happens is this capacity.
Oh my God, what's
believes
going
that something makes somebody. And you see the black man is just walking by with his food,
What is
enjoying
going on
this
right
moment
now?
because he understands
Holy
that, oh
fuck.
shit, every black person needs to have this oh shit moment. Oh shit, young white kids do the same thing that young black kids do. People fuck up. Marcus fucked up. I think Marcus should still have the opportunity to play college ball. But what's fucked up is somebody, I'm going to tell you the real thing. When I got presented with this video was the same time that the University of Florida was rumored to be flipping Rashida from Miami. You know what I said when I got that video? I said, oh, them motherfuckers finna use this as a reason to drop this kid. And I got news for you, University of Florida fan. And it's nothing for you to be upset about. But I got news for everybody. If you believe that them coaches was just that offended by this, by that video, I got oceanfront property in Iowa, I want to tell you. They dropped that kid because they got a better quarterback. And they use this as an excuse to drop that kid. And the fucked up part about it is that kid is going to struggle. Because even if he didn't say that word, dropping a quarterback this late in the cycle is like very difficult for that kid to go find, because everybody, quarterback's one position. You typically take one guy in the class. I hope somebody takes this kid. I truly believe this kid is going to learn from this. And this kid, again, I'm going to tell you this, how this works. Consequences. Even if he did get his ass whooped, it's probably that what happens with a good solid ass whooping between men is once we get that good ass whooping off, it's over. You paid your penance. That doesn't mean you paid your penance to everybody else. But if he was a true racist, he would have continued to got his ass whooped. I don't want to hear that I got black friends, or if black people can say it, everybody should be able to say it. Say whatever words you want to say, but just be willing to deal with the consequences. I just think that this kid got caught up in the moment. I don't even know what the rap song is, but I will say there are some good rap songs out there. The word just flows out and just sometimes it slips. As a black man, I never understood how powerful and fun the word was. Again, until Freaky Friday with Little Dicky and Chris Brown. There's a part where he says, "Oh my God!" It's kind of like everybody says. If like I know, I tell white people all the time when they say, "Oh, it's so hard being white, man." That bitch, you want to trade? I'm a black guy with good credit that played at Florida State that gets whatever he wants that makes over six figures and just talk shit on the radio 3 days a week. Bitch, I would trade with a regular ass white dude and watch me make billions. But here's the thing though. I won't lie, is when I get into your body and I have paler skin, I'm going to attempt to do some shit that I would never attempt to do in my own skin. And I know you're going to attempt to do the same things because we all know there are things that are there's some privileges in each thing. If all I got to do is not say one word, I'll be cool. I'm very creative. I can say a lot of different words. It's like a million, 2 million, 10 million words in the English language to say the exact same shit. Matter of fact, there's a parody of, if you ever watch the show The Boondocks, I would probably tell you don't say some of those words too. But there's a video where they have Uncle Ruckus and he's with his favorite country music singer. And I didn't realize that this genre of music existed until I found that one guy who had the the Orgies in Heaven song and shit like that. It wasn't that bad, but I'm just saying, like, there probably is a racist country music origin. I know. And he was just like, was it? It said, boot liquor, porch monkey, bump them. Like they were just saying all these different phrases other than other than the N word. And it was so creative. It was like really, I'm like, yo, like so many words. And I was just like, yo, this shit slaps. It's all jokes, but like at the end of the day, again, be conscious of what you post on social media, young men and women. But at the same time, like just it ain't really that big a deal. Like I tell you this, and this without end, cancel culture doesn't exist. It just means you can be replaced. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened right here. You didn't get canceled. You got replaced. And your freedoms, I learned this in civics. The first thing my civics teacher taught me is that, and if you want to understand how Americans' rights work, your rights end where mine begin. So while you have all your freedoms, so do I. And I have the freedom of whether I choose to work with you or not. And I think that's where people forget. So, and again, what happened with Kanye? Kanye didn't get fired for anti-Semitic remarks. Kanye got fired because he made anti-Semitic remarks to his fucking employer. Like, I told one person, I said, watch how long you work. Actually, I told my good friend Chris, and this is again, I am very transparent, and I work with white people, work with all people, but I like to try to, like Dave Chappelle, not as good. I like to try to bring complex matters into something simple to where we can talk about it and discuss it as humans. But I said, Chris, if you go out there and say, "Man, fuck that fat ass fullback, Big Game James, black ass motherfucker with nappy dreads," guess what's probably not going to happen anymore? It's not because you're racist. I'm not going to, like, you didn't get banned because you're racist. You got banned because you fucking offended me. I don't have to work with you because of your First Amendment rights. Because I have my rights and I have the right to choose not to work with you. And that's what Florida did. But I'm going to tell you that Florida used an excuse. Because what that kid did was not egregious. So, other than that, I have one thing I want to end with, and this is my alpha male moment. I know this is a short clip, but Miles, if you just click on that last thing, this is the embodiment of sports. It reminds me of what my son's godfather told the playoff team that told the other coach in the playoffs, which we should have won. We were cheated, but whatever. Sometimes people are like, "What adjustments did you make? Things weren't working this way, and now they are, and blah blah blah." And it's really not a lot of brain in it. It's just what you went and did. And this is what alpha men say. They don't make excuses. They don't try to give you this coach speak. They don't try to give you rhetoric. But I will say this. This is what happened. This is dope. And they got my man Jaheim Bell over there. I love him. But go ahead, tell us what the fuck did y'all do to make the game better?
In the second half, you guys on defense came out and were able to get stops. What adjustments were made during that break?
Nothing. Just drop your nuts. Really, that's all it is.
Football is
Second
very
half,
simple.
You guys on defense came out and were able to get stops.
Football,
What
it's a
adjustments
violent
were made
game
during
played
that
by
break?
violent individuals. You don't have to like break it down any more than this. You just dropped your nuts. And what I'll say is this. Again, and George brings up. George doesn't realize he's backing my point about not being canceled. You know, a guy who's got his Twitter ban. Me. I got my Twitter ban by saying I'll fucking whoop somebody's ass if they touch my hair. I didn't cry. I would like that Twitter page back because I'm trying to get it installed. Because he's putting everybody else out there. But I got it banned because I broke the rules. And Twitter's a private platform. I don't have to be on somebody else's platform. They don't have to let me play in their yard because I said some shit. It's very simple. It's not canceled. It's just another individual chose to not let me play there. And that's their right. It's called entitlement when you believe that you can say whatever you want to say and somebody has to let you do that. Nobody has to let you do anything. Mark Zuckerberg banned me for 24 hours because I said some wild, actually, because I shared a video of a black man beating the fuck out of his son because his son said he was a goon posted with his guns. The same thing I would do to my goddamn son if he used my gun. I'm gonna beat his ass on live TV if he goes on live TV saying he's a goon with guns. Sorry, that's how I roll. We ain't raising no goons in my house. But I'm just saying, create another platform. That's all I did. I just got banned, created another fucking account, and boom, here you go to this day. But I would like my platform back. But again, that was going to be in my thing too, and I got to end it. But I want y'all conservative people who think that motherfucking Elon Musk is the truth. That motherfucker full of shit too. All he doing is using this as clout chasing to suck Trump's dick like some of y'all do. And that's not saying Trump. I don't care about you, who you voted for. I'm just saying some of y'all do jack him off a little bit too much, and you cradle his balls. And that's what Elon Musk is doing. Elon Musk ain't doing none of this stuff except for it ain't about free speech. Because if it was about free speech, my ass would have been reinstated. I done did the appeals, done all that shit, but that ain't about free speech. It's about popularity contests and sucking another motherfucker's dick. Which again, if that's your thing. That's your thing. I just want people to be upfront about it. And Elon basically did do that by some of the posts that he's made. It's been a little disturbing. I mean, not disturbing, but like interesting or whatever. And all my, because I've seen some of y'all that I like, and y'all know me. Y'all done retweeted and y'all done thrown a fucking parade for Donald Trump being back, but y'all ain't even mentioned free big game James 36. Y'all just see, black people, respectability politics. You know what y'all say? Y'all over here and y'all support fucking rich people and famous people, but you won't support your own. Black people, white people do the same shit. Them motherfuckers actually know me. Trump would never sit down and have a beverage with these cats. He'll have one with me, but he'll never even piss on them if they're on fire. And they're celebrating him getting on Twitter, but won't even say free big game. And I've given their kids backpacks. Anyways, man, but I do say this. All that to say is I don't give a fuck if that one gets back on Twitter or not. But I do appreciate those who chop it up and say this. I would love nothing more than to have 2,000 YouTube subscribers. I would love nothing more than all of these different things. But I love that you guys come and chop it up with me. So I appreciate y'all chopping it up with me. We'll see you guys maybe tomorrow with some breaking not 6 quarter. What the fuck is that group? 6 points news. But other than that, we'll see you on Wednesday. Enjoy your holiday. Come to the tailgate. Peace.